Hey everyone, welcome back. This is Blitzball Champ once again, continuing my discussion about the Carolina Panthers quarterback situation going forward. So, in the first video, I mainly focused the discussion on current quarterbacks in the NFL. For this part, for part two, I want to focus mainly on quarterbacks coming out of the draft for 2021, this upcoming draft. I believe that this draft is going to be very, very deep when it comes to quarterbacks. So I think, like I said before, a lot of Panther fans can agree on a new quarterback for the team. So if we were to look to the draft, who would y'all like? So let's dive into this and kind of look at each of these quarterbacks. And I'm just basing off of who's been mentioned, who's been in the discussion the most, people like that. So let's get started. So I guess the first one we'll go with, which, we'll go with for obvious reasons. Clemson quarterback Trevor Lawrence, which a lot of folks are predicting will be taken in the first round of the draft by the Jaguars, Jacksonville Jaguars. They have the number one pick. So, he released his video officially declaring for the draft. But there's a lot of folks banking on this being the quarterback to just be one of those unique, special quarterbacks that can just potentially blow up in the NFL. A lot of folks are banking on Trevor Lawrence being one of those that's of a new breed, a new rising breed that we haven't seen in a long time. So let's take a look at Trevor Lawrence. This season, 3,153 passing yards, 24 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. Looking even further, let's see. Of course, he's currently a junior, but passer rating of 169.2, 69.2 completion percentage, and just the dude, his stats really speak for itself. And overall, it seems like he has had 3 great years at Clemson. First year, 30 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. Second, 36 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. And now, 24 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. So, great quarterback ratings. And over 3,000 yards each season. So, the stats speak for itself. And I can definitely understand why he was up there at the top for quarterbacks potentially to make the biggest splash, especially in this draft, this upcoming draft. But here's the thing, though. As far as him in Carolina has the 8th pick in this upcoming draft. Me personally, I highly doubt that the Jaguars would be dumb enough to trade their number 1 pick. I highly doubt they would be dumb enough to trade their number 1 pick. So, would you? I guess would you go all in and try to trade up to get Trevor Lawrence? Me personally, I wouldn't, because I don't think the Jaguars would budge. I honestly don't think we could give them a good enough deal for them to budge. Because I'm sorry, I don't see them banking on Gardner Minshew. I don't. I wouldn't. And if they have the opportunity to get somebody like a Trevor Lawrence, which I know they have a lot to build on, but you got to take that chance. You got to build your strong pieces and, get as strong as you can get. So I just feel like sacrificing so much to get Trevor Lawrence, I just don't think it's worth what we have to sacrifice, what Carolina would have to sacrifice to get him. I just don't believe it's worth it. Because one, I don't believe that we're just a quarterback away from being a contender. But, that's just my opinion. But Trevor Lawrence does seem like the best of the best when it comes to the prospects. So I don't know. Would y'all go all in to get that number one pick to get Trevor Lawrence? Trevor Lawrence, Exhibit A. All right. Exhibit B. Ohio State quarterback Justin Fields. Now, with Justin Fields, there's a few things I want to say about this. Number one, I know a lot of folks are putting, actually, it's kind of half and half. There's some folks that would be down to get him. And then there's some folks that are like, it's the Ohio State quarterback curse in the NFL, which, the curse is typically Ohio State quarterbacks that are in the NFL don't do too well. And, that seems to be the case. But could Justin Fields break that curse? Could he break that curse? Current stats this year: 1,906 passing yards, 21 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. Let's go deeper. He too is also a junior. Now, of course, we have to remember his first year, he was a Georgia Bulldog. So we look at his stats last year. 3,273 yards passing, 41 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, at a passer rating of 181.4. But the thing about this year, his completion percentage went up. It went up from 67.2 to 73.4. Now I know he doesn't have as many touchdowns or as many passing yards. Still has a 186.7 passer rating. So and of course, he's got 19 total rushing touchdowns between the 3 seasons, 5 this year. So it definitely seems that he does well at taking care of the ball, especially in his sophomore season. Only throwing 3 interceptions, 41 touchdowns to 3 interceptions. The dude takes care of the ball. High completion percentage. I don't know, y'all. Maybe he could break the curse. Maybe he actually could break the curse. And they recently, like, he lit up Clemson. So, I mean, I know a lot of folks are like, it's an Ohio State quarterback. No, 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 no. Y'all, maybe he might break the curse. He might actually break the curse. I feel like he would have a better chance of doing that than Dwayne Haskins. So just something to keep in mind. Something to keep in mind. Um, according to the mock draft, Jets have the second pick, and it's a possibility either they could go Justin Fields or Atlanta with the fourth pick could go Justin Fields. Like I said, Carolina has the eighth pick. I mean, I definitely don't see Justin Fields going in the first pick. But let's say some way, somehow he strangely falls to maybe, you know, the fifth pick or less. Or surprisingly the eighth pick, which I highly doubt he would fall that low. I don't believe he would fall that low. But if he did, would y'all take him? Or would y'all trade up for a Justin Fields? Maybe some of y'all would trade up for a Justin Fields before Trevor Lawrence. Would I would I be mad if we got him? I mean, I get the whole curse thing, but I just really strongly feel like maybe he will be the one to break the curse. I think he could break the curse. Remains to be seen, but he might be the best candidate in a long while to break the curse, y'all. So, yeah, let me know what y'all think about Justin Fields. Next up, from BYU, Zack Wilson. And yes, of course, another junior. All these juniors. But yes, another junior. Now, from what I've been hearing a lot of people say, um, got a handful of folks that are actually hyped about Zack Wilson. There are some that, no to Zack Wilson, but there's a good number of people that would totally be all for Zack Wilson coming to Carolina. Um, Stats: 3,692 yards passing, 33 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions. Okay, let's go a little bit deeper. Um, so he has a passer rating of 196.4, which, I mean, looking at 2018, 2019, I mean, had smaller numbers. I mean, 12 touchdowns to 3 interceptions, 11 touchdowns to 9 interceptions. I mean, the guy has improved greatly compared to his first 2 years. That's something to keep in mind. He's improved greatly. He's gone from a 62.4 completion percentage to a 73.5. And he's gone from a passer rating of 130.8 to 196.4. I mean, and the dude's got quite an arm. He's got quite an arm. Also has 10 rushing touchdowns this season so far. But I mean, dude definitely has the stats to back up claims. 6'3", 212 pounds. Coming out of BYU. I mean, not to mention, it sounds like lately his draft stock has increased to the point where even the Jets may take him at number 2. So I don't know, y'all. Zack Wilson, if you ask me, he's kind of one that I've had my eye on, especially ever since Zack Wilson was mentioned to me. Shout outs to Nath John um, for the reference to Zack Wilson, because I didn't really know that much about him until he pointed me in his direction. So salute to you. Um, but I just really, I would not mind if we picked him in the draft. If it came to Carolina and he was available, I would go for him. I might even take a chance on him more than I would take a chance on a Justin Fields. And I think the only reason is because, in the back of my mind, that whole Ohio State curse would really be the only thing stopping me. But Zack Wilson looks like he has potential to definitely be great. Maybe some say maybe a step down from Trevor Lawrence, but I don't know. I would be kind of shocked if he fell to number 8 or even beyond number 5. But I don't know where it is. Jets may get him in the mock draft. Either him, either them or the Falcons. But yeah, Zack Wilson's definitely up there. What do y'all think of Zack Wilson? Would y'all take a chance on him if you had the opportunity? Okay, next up. Next up is somebody that I don't really hear get talked about as much as I would have thought, to be honest with you. But another junior for that good old Alabama Crimson Tide, who is going to be playing against Ohio State in the championship. Mack Jones. Mack Jones. Mack Jones. No, I'm just joking. Um, Current stats: 4,036 passing yards, 36 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, with the 12-0 Crimson Tide. Looking at, let's go a little deeper. I mean, definitely quite an improvement from last season. I mean, he went from a 68.8 completion percentage to a 77 completion percentage, a 186.8 passer rating to a 203 passer rating. Um, Only been sacked 11 times. And like I said, 4 interceptions, 36 touchdowns. I mean, shoot. Why do I not hear about this guy as much as Trevor Lawrence and Trey Lance and Justin Fields and Zack Wilson. What is going on here? Like, I'll hear more about Kyle Trask before I hear about Mack Jones. Something's wrong with that picture. Or maybe I'm following the wrong sources or what, but it seems like I don't hear much said about Mack Jones in the midst of all these quarterbacks. And the dude is getting ready to play in the national championship. So I mean, you know, I know he didn't win the Heisman Trophy, but it's like dang, the dude the dude is legit with his stats. Definitely with his stats. Honestly, I wouldn't mind a Mack Jones. I wouldn't mind a Mack Jones. So, what do y'all think about Mack Jones? Would y'all take a chance on him? I mean, he could potentially, him or Justin Fields, could potentially become national champion very soon. So, yeah. Next up on the list, this one's interesting. This one's very very interesting and could, some say, could be a sleeper in the draft. But North Dakota State Bison quarterback Trey Lance, who is a sophomore currently. Um, I mean, hasn't really done too much this season. I mean, 149 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, and a pick. In the 2019 season, and I think this is something that is stood out as to maybe why he's a potential. But in 2019, dude had a completion percentage of 66.9, passed for 2,786 yards, 28 touchdowns, and no interceptions. Finished with a rating of 180.6. I mean, I'll be honest. He may not have big, enormous numbers, and not to mention, he actually, he rushed for 1,100 yards that same 2019 season and had 14 touchdowns. Whoa. Whoa. Uh, okay, that definitely gets my attention even more. 2,786 passing yards and 1,100 rushing yards? And didn't throw a pick? Uh, I don't know about y'all, but I mean, any season where you can throw that many touchdowns and no picks? Like I said, he may not have the biggest stats in many, many years compared to the other prospects. I'll give you that. But do y'all know how hard it is to get through a season without throwing a pick? I'm no quarterback, but I wouldn't think that would be an easy thing to do. I mean, currently in the NFL, Patrick Mahomes is probably the closest one to that. But, and I mean, I don't really know that much about North Dakota State, other than, Carson Wentz came from there. But geez. And not to mention, they finished, they won the FCS championship last season and were undefeated. They were undefeated last season. So, I mean, I can see why a lot of people are high on Trey Lance. I do. I can actually see why a lot of people are high on Trey Lance. I'll admit. I get it. 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 I definitely get it. I can clearly understand why folks are very high on Trey Lance. Um, but like I said, we'll see. 6'4", 226 pounds. I mean, we'll see. I mean, I mean, he could potentially be a sleeper in the draft, and nobody may not have much focus on, but we'll see. We'll see. But Trey Lance, he seems like somebody that you might not go wrong with. So, what do y'all think about Trey Lance? All right. Next up, we're going to look at Kyle Trask, quarterback, the senior quarterback out of Florida. Florida Gators. Okay. 4,283 passing yards, 43 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. Let's see. Oh, wrong thing. Looking at how he's done. Let's see. He's got a passer rating of 180.0. Had a good 2019 season as well. But yeah, dude has thrown for a lot of yards. A lot of touchdowns as well. But I don't know. I'm hearing a lot of mixed opinions about Kyle Trask. I'm hearing some folks say that they don't even see him getting picked up in the first round of the draft, that he could fall to the second round. So, I mean, I don't know. He doesn't seem like, the Gators are 8-4. So, I don't know. Some folks are saying he could fall to the second round, which I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, yeah, I don't know. Like I said, the list of quarterbacks is so deep with this draft. So, we'll have to see. What do y'all think of Kyle Trask? Do y'all even see him going in the first round? And I think he's a potential pick that we could get with the number 8 pick. Him, Mack Jones, Trey Lance. I could see Carolina taking with number 8 pick as far as them being available. Like I said, Zack Wilson has become questionable now since his stock has gone up. And Justin Fields is definitely up there as well. Trevor Lawrence, like I said, if you ask me, no chance, even with trading up. But but yeah. What do y'all think of Kyle Trask? And then the last one that I got on the list, and this is one that just recently came up, is Texas Longhorns quarterback Sam Ellinger. I don't know if I said that correctly, so if I butchered his name, please forgive me. Sam Ellinger. Now, senior quarterback for the Texas Longhorns. He has 2,566 yards passing, 26 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. Okay. Now, looking at his four years with Texas, I mean, sophomore and junior year were pretty good, pretty solid. Currently has a 150.7 passer rating. His completion percentage has been kind of up then kind of down, but still in the 60s. Junior year was his best year completion percentage wise, as well as passing yards and touchdown wise. But still, I mean, 26 touchdowns to only 5 picks is still a great ratio. I mean, guys and gals, why hasn't anybody really mentioned him? Like, is there a reason why he's not mentioned? Like, what about him? It's like folks will mention Kyle Trask, but not this guy. I mean, Texas 7-3 this season, ranked 20. I mean, maybe that has something to do with it, but I mean, he's got pretty good numbers. I mean, he's got pretty good numbers. I mean, do y'all not like him? Carolina fans, what about Sam? What about Sam? Uncle Sam wants you to consider him. uh, yeah, I don't. I mean, is he even in the mock draft? Maybe maybe he could fall to man. Could he even fall to the second round? Maybe. Dang. Maybe third round. Dang. I wow. Well, okay. Well, I guess I can probably see why folks haven't been talking about him. But what do y'all think? So those are the quarterbacks that I wanted to talk about. So let's recap. Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields, Zack Wilson, Mack Jones, Trey Lance, Trask, Sam Ellinger. Out of those quarterbacks, Carolina fans, who would y'all bank on? Who would y'all go all in for, or if it came down to who y'all think is available at the number 8 pick, who would y'all go for? Would y'all trade up for anybody specific? Um, if you ask me personally, who would I be okay with? Um, like I said, I highly assume that Trevor Lawrence is out of the question, and I wouldn't trade up to get him. I just wouldn't. Um, if I were to pick three, if I were to pick three quarterbacks that I would be totally okay with in the draft, it would be these three: Zack Wilson, Mack Jones, Trey Lance. Those would be the three I would be okay with. So y'all wanted my picks. Those would be my picks for quarterback that I would go for in the draft. Zack Wilson, Mack Jones, Trey Lance. Because like I said, Trevor Lawrence, I feel like is out of the question. Justin Fields, just everything looks fine, but history has shown Ohio State quarterbacks haven't done too well in the NFL. Um, but yeah, and if you ask me, I feel like it's a good chance that by the time it gets to Carolina, maybe, just maybe, Justin Fields, Trevor Lawrence, and Zack Wilson probably won't even be available. So, but yeah, that's pretty much all that I have. Who do y'all like, quarterback wise, that you think would give Carolina a great shot at an improved offense, better quarterback going forward that you could bank on? Like, comment, subscribe, click that notification bell so you don't miss a video. Thank you so much. Don't forget to check out part 1 if you haven't already. And thank y'all so much for watching. This is Blitzball Champ Jason Ingram signing off. I will see y'all soon. Everybody have a blessed weekend.